Okay, good afternoon and welcome to my channel. My name's John from Cooking Around the World. Today we're going to make these beautiful banh buns. So essentially we'll do the filling in our second follow-up recipe to this, but this is if you want to make these soft pillowy rolls, very crusty on the outside, soft on the inside. They are perfect. Let's get cooking and I'll show you how it's done. Right, today we're going to make banh. My name is John from Cooking Around the World. Banh is a Vietnamese dish, street food rather, that you'll find readily available in Vietnam and in Vietnamese restaurants throughout the world. We're going to make it from scratch. We're going to make the rolls first. 260 mils of water. In there I have put 1.5 teaspoons of a mixture of yeast and bread improvers, vitamin C, soybean extract, and then 1/2 teaspoon of dry yeast and 1 teaspoon of caster sugar. Mix these together. Once we get firm results that the yeast is active, we can then combine this with the flour in our bread maker to do our first knead. We'll come back when this is foaming. Well, that's definitely foaming now. In here, just one moment, in here we have 520 grams of flour. We're going to add to that 3/4 teaspoon of salt. There we go, 3/4 teaspoon. And what you want to do is actually stir this through so that you evenly distribute the salt amongst the flour. Right, into the baking pan goes that, and on top of that we will add our flour and salt mixture. I'll come back when it's ready to put into the bread maker. Right, into the bread maker goes the pan. Now I'm using a bread maker solely to combine and knead these ingredients. You can use a stand mixer if you wish. Select a dough hook and mix it for around about 10 to 12 minutes or until the dough is elastic. This will be quite a high hydration dough, so it'll be quite sticky, so it will be more difficult to do manually, but you can do it manually also. Let's turn this on and we'll come back when we're ready to turn the dough out onto a floured board. So we're using setting number 14 here, which is knead, which is a 15-minute kneading cycle. We'll come back once that's finished. Right, I've lightly floured my board and then we'll tip this out. Just by stretching it, as you can see, it still needs a little bit of kneading. So what we might do is pop this back into the bread maker and give it another 15 minutes and see if that hopefully makes things a bit better. We might also add a tablespoon of water, because that is quite a, I think I'll add 2. It's quite a dry dough. Can vary. I'm using a new flour, so this has got a slightly higher protein level. That could be the problem, but I'm going to put it in for another 15 minutes kneading. Right, we've given it more of a knead. Oh, that's better. Right, I've got a bowl here that I've oiled. I'm going to put this in, cover it, and we'll leave it for 45 minutes. Come back then. Right, let's bring our bread back and see, or no, bread, our dough, and see whether it's risen very much. Well, I think that's definitely proof, isn't it? Right, now we should gather all the things that we need first. I've started using this. There was a kid up the road who used to ride his bike through our herb garden until I cut his bike in half with this dough scraper. But I've matured now, and I use this more for bread, in particular rolls, bread rolls, making them. So let's turn this out and get the air out of it. And just push down on it. Right, now we're going to cut this in half. And then we're going to cut it in half again. And then into 8ths. Right, let's do our first one. Now, just pop this down here, get your rolling pin. And start to roll it like so, and then start to roll it up and just pinch it as you go. And then just seal it off like that. And there we have it. There's our first one. I will get a big tray with some baking paper on it, and I'll start to put them on the baking tray where they can have their final rise before they go into the oven. Right, so I've done most of them, or 5 of them, in the rolls, and then 3 of them in the round bun types. I'm going to put them in the oven now with just the light on, no temperature, and we'll come back in roughly, I think, about 10 or about an hour we'll do it, but I'll peak it at 40 minutes. So I'll cover this up with cloth and then into the oven. There they are. Quite a lot bigger than the last time we saw them. I'm going to put a tray of water in the bottom of my oven, and as soon as it reaches 180 degrees we'll pop this in for around about 20 minutes. There we are, straight out of the oven. I'm going to separate these, then get a bit of butter on them, and we'll see what they taste like. Rightio, let's look at that beautiful texture. Let's get some softened butter on there. Right, let's have a taste. That is beautiful. It's like knocking on a door. It's so nice and crusty, but then in the middle they're sort of soft and pillowy. Absolutely perfect. Anyway, thanks for watching. As I said, that's the bread roll part of it, making these beautiful crusty on the outside, soft and fluffy on the inside rolls. In the next couple of days I'll have the video for the fillings that you can put in these lovely rolls as well. Alright, I will catch you on my next recipe.